No matter what may come. Yeah. Jesus, my life is in. Every person that's going through, lift your hands and say it with me. I know I can. I got a witness in here somewhere. I know. Hallelujah. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. Jesus, my life is in. Oh, I love you so much, Jesus. With you, I know I can. Oh, bless your name, Jesus. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. 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 Come on, let's say it with me. I know. I know you can make it. I know you can. No matter what may come my way. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. I know I can take it. I feel it all in my spirit right now. I feel it. Thank you, Jesus. No matter what may come my way. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. No matter what you're going through, His grace and mercy go it forever. He loves you. I know He does. Oh, hallelujah.
Yes, I just wanted to play that for all those persons out there who may be feeling a little down. All right, that's just let you know there's always somebody there. And even though you're not a religious person or Christian, there's always somebody there who can help to lift you up. You just have to reach out. All right, so it's 3 minutes after the 11 o'clock hour. What I'm going to try and do I want to say congratulations to the persons, organizers, and the New Democratic Party for that wonderful launching of Brother Andrew John on Saturday night at the Bible Bridge. Great turnout, lovely meeting, well put together and entertaining. So I want to say, all the best to him. All the best to the New Democratic Party as we move forward. I want to play you back something from that meeting also. And yes, to let you know that Dr. Friday will be joining us on today's program. Let me see you. Good morning, Newtimes.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's something like Major?
Yeah, I'm going to pull off so the buzzer will go off because I really want to speak to you.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, good. So just take a half a minute of the time there so that I could get into the conversation.
All right, no problem. So you pull aside, yes. So we have the Major on the line, and he will be joining us. Just to also let you know that we'll be streaming live. We are streaming live on the NDP Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. All right, so we're gonna bring you the program on those channels, and yes, Dr. Friday will be joining us at some point. Also, as we move on, don't forget this week on Thursday. It's the Heroes Day activity at Block 2000 Central Kingston Community. Effort coming together, honoring several persons, and I'll be there. I don't think I've ever missed it. Don't think so. All right, so
yeah, but I'm with you.
Okay, all right, Major. Thanks.
Yeah, I sacrificed my parking to get in this short conversation. But
yeah, you're with us.
Yeah, but about park, so they just tell me she going in this space. So I'm making hold on.
Okay.
But
yeah, Maj.
Yeah, last Saturday, I had to make a radio intervention on the station because there's a radio program which I follow very much. It's a very, very good program. And I want to emphasize how much we appreciate in the Democratic Party feedback on the things that we do. But equally, we have to be charged to defend our professional and political integrity when things are not going the way we want. So I think that's a right we have, just like the others have a right. But I also have to be cognizant of the fact that there's still a large portion of people who are either not receiving the information that we put out in the way we want it to be received, or who want more information, or who sometimes, because of their own listenership or whatever the circumstances are oblivious of the amount of work that takes place in the Democratic Party across all of the spectrums by the several individual agencies of the party. And I want to charge yourself and Margaret and Eigel and Colin, obviously, to bend your backs even further. And this is some of the feedback I have, to really see if we could reach those people who we are not now reaching, with a few things that I would like to do. Literally speaking, on all the daily programs. You there with me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Walk across the constituency as best unit, activity by activity, representation by representation, plans and programs. Because this will also have to force members to provide you with information as well, you know, so that people get a good sense that it's so difficult trying to park where so many people want to talk to me. A good sense of the detailed way in which we go about our working in the Democratic Party, so we could build support or confidence. Because some of us is that people are really nervous about this victory that we all want to secure, and are not necessarily aware of how hard we're working. Last week is a case in point, but almost every day, and this is getting more and more characteristic of how life is in the New Democratic Party, there is daily work for all parliamentarians, from captain to cook, as the saying goes, from the president to the janitor, if I could surround. And people are not always aware. Now, I say people are not always aware. That brings me to the point that there are some things for which our supporters also can be made aware. And there are very many things for which we cannot make John public aware. Because the nature of strategy and tactics is not to give the other side insights or upper hand, or become so predictable that they can always know what is your next step, the next move, and pigeonhole you. So we always have to do what we must do to maintain those elements of surprise. But it's our challenge to do both things, walk and through at the same time. Give as much information as possible. This happened in North Leeward, this is going to happen in South Central Windward. The people in America thinking this way, Western Georgia is going in that direction. And give them fulsome promotion. Because people have to have that greater sense that this victory, which we know we are confident about, we're not taking it for granted, and that we're working very hard. I'm also aware about that all of us in the party have our likes and dislikes. There are people who like you for one reason or the other, and there are equally those who don't like you.
True.
But it makes good sense that all of us in the party try to like each other. And the sooner we do it, the better for all of us. Otherwise, we would be in a crisis mode. I'll give you a good example. But last Saturday morning, I was walking, and I met two guys sitting close to each other. The first one almost gave me a fist bump. And then I sailed up and I greeted him. And about 3 or 4 steps after I passed him, it became a way to him trying to make voice a conversation with someone that's Lika going. He said, who that? That Lika going there? And I guess I muttered this word in myself. You couldn't believe it, the same man who just meet and greet me. Another one, Harvey Hyun bottle going sell to make a daily living. And he took a turn on me with all the Democrat people. He even said NDP. His word was all Democrat people. And he go on and on and on. But that's all that is in the game of political representation and the work that we do. Not everybody's going to like us. But it is particularly painful when our own supporters who have access to us, who know what are the channels, who know what are the media, and can come to us, feel that there is an advantage by bearing the chest and going on radio and in other forum to let the world know that they are so independent and so right on any and every issue that they can take us down one by one, not realize that when they destroy one of us or move one of us, others move in the process. And we have to be more caring for each other. Because the truth be told, but the work told on all of us is humongous. It's Herculean. Sometimes it's almost magical to get done the things that we have done. I don't want to use myself as an example, but I'll use it deliberately because of what I see is happening. I have a huge event this week. Well, in my mind, and you will understand, I will say that P is having an event. Because that's the extent to which Central Kingston reach, where if in a particular constituency party group, the chairperson is having it, we identify it as his event. Huh? And we lend support to him. We're meeting as an executive tonight on a number of things, but we have to give a lot of focus to P and the Heroes event. They think it's easy to get tent and chair and music and food and whitewash the place and trophies and people to write the citations and artists and put all the things together. You think it's easy? Not by a long shot. And at the end of the day, you broke. What's the significance of it? But it brings support. And I think about myself, because Central Kingston has been the pioneer in having this, that, and the other event. And many others have come now to do the same thing. In some cases, beating us at our own game. Chevron John is doing an outstanding job in North Winwood, for example, in the events that he's having on a regular basis. Lavon Villas in East St. George, they're picking up too and having frequent things. Daniel is right there in what he has. So too is Bruce in South Central Winwood. Kay is moving fast on the curve as well. In Western Georgia, East Kingston Beach Splash is well established. Friday's Midday Fair is also well established. A number of other party groups have authorized, but they have effect of showing things are happening and bringing support to the party. The public relations officer, who's on the seas many times, I am telling you that I have had problems, but I've walked through them, and she's an asset to me. And sometimes the workload that she has to carry, and the professional work that's required of her, the NDP can't pay for it. Even though she works mostly full time, what we give her is part compensation, and she's a business person in her own right. Why we feel that if we take her down, we build the party up. When in truth and in fact, we should be trying to find more ways and means to have her involved. And there are several other officers of the party who are doing human work. Almost may or may not like the treasurer for one reason or the other. But they're always present, please, and leading from in front and by example. So too is Harvey Farrell, who is an assistant. But people may not see them in the front line. But apart from the work he does in the office to support directly Dr. Friday and resource in general, for myself and others who want to use them, is also a significant pillar for what he has to do as chairperson in South Central Winwood for Bruce. And in many other respects. So people have to show a lot more patience and tolerance and understand this boat. And this is what I want to close on. They have to trust the leadership of the party. That's the first thing. Trust the leadership of your New Democratic Party. That we are well-meaning, that we are working, and that we are well-led. And that there's leadership across the board. Dr. Friday is leader, and that one time only one person could be the leader. But several of us are leaders. But trust the leaders. That's the first thing. Second thing, and I want to amplify this, we have to do more and more and more and more and more to see ourselves, act ourselves, and believe in ourselves. That we are the majority party in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The word opposition, yes, is an institutional investment. But when you walk the street, boat, the average man, woman, and child, boy and girl, political supporter.
Hello? I think Major has dropped out. Hopefully we'll get him back, but I think that Major has dropped out. So we'll try and get him back in a minute. Hopefully he'll call us back. Very important interjection. Just to let you know that Dr. Friday will be joining us. And I want to play back at some point, not at some point, as soon as the Major is finished, the presentation of Mr. Andrew John Bible on Saturday. And while I hope the Major realized that he has dropped out and not continuing, because I know he had that problem, and not continuing, not aware that he has dropped out, you know. And I want to continue on that vein in many ways too, because when I tell people these things, they sometimes, you know, and what the Major say is not everything that's happening you can bring to the public at any time. And it's important that persons believe in the leadership of the party and the work that is being done, especially behind the scene and so forth. As you say, we have different personalities, likes and dislikes, but a lot of persons are shoulder to the wheel, and we have to understand that. And from a personal view, I say it's unbelievable. It's 40 years I've been with the NDP. 40 years. Yes, 40. Believe it or not. But the work and the effort and the PR that is going on now, I've never seen in all my time. But you know, the more you do is the more people say you're not doing enough. And there's always room for improvement. Yes, there's always room for improvement. But I take it from me. There's a lot of work being done, a lot of effort, a lot of daily meetings. And sometimes, I'm not seeing like we'll get back there, Major, but at some time it's important to give some encouragement. Trust me. Even though sometimes we are on the radio and we come here daily or whatever, myself, Colin, Igel sometimes, Margaret sometimes, and as you say, some people have the likes and the dislikes. But sometimes you need that little extra encouragement, you know. It's not always the criticism. Sometimes, you know, that little word, you know, you guys walk in, keep it up. You might surprise how far that go. In terms of sometimes you just feel when you hear all these negatives that, boy, why are we working so hard? And then just one person might come and say, you know, we appreciate the work you're doing, and that makes a world of a difference. Let me see if this is the Major trying to get back in. Let me see. Hello, good morning.
Francois, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, I was trying to see if I get Major back in.
Well, yeah, I got short. Now, I just want to touch a little on to what Major was saying, because now, well, the Saturday program I listen, sometimes I take part in it, right? And at the time when comment was made Saturday, I know the candidate for East St. George was doing work in the constituency, right? Because I left.
I didn't hear the program. I heard about the program, but I didn't hear it. So,
right. So at the time, and then yes, I felt at the CELAC meeting, I felt that some sort of a protest should have taken place. But then the point is this, that the people who are really affected, they say whether 500 people who they send home because of the vaccine, right? And neither the teachers union nor the public service union thought, okay, that it was wise for them to go picket still. yes, it's true the NDP is a political party, but it's not everything that the political party, because I know in 2001 it wasn't the ULP started all the things, it was started by the teachers union, the public service union, and the politician them at the time and the opposition, they just stay behind and fan in the fire. Right? Yes, and then to me, I thought the comment was a little bit unfair, but, people free to air the views, and the good thing about it is that I think with the New Democratic Party, when you criticize, even though, you wouldn't be pushed aside, and actually, and I like when Major came in and tried to, put certain things, just correct certain things that I thought, well, okay, because actually everybody will like to see things there, but all of us can't get what we want. So yeah, I agree with Major. We're in the party, yes. Because look, if I see something in East St. George and I think I will call the candidate. I will call Mrs. Willox and I will put it to her. I share my ideas. Whether she wants to accept it is another thing, but I will share it. And I think this is what we need to do. Yeah, because I think even all the speakers on the program, if they want to talk to the leadership of the party, I don't think anybody in the leadership will turn them down. So, yeah, when we had these different, let me deal with the people.
I think, and so, I got feedback about the program, but I didn't yet. But I think I know, because a lot of times, people call for demonstration. I have lead out. I remember one time when, for example, the teachers were having something, and I encouraged somebody to go, and then there was this teacher who told me, well, no, the person wasn't a teacher, but they had a teacher friend, and the teacher friend told them, no, you have to come and help us demonstrate. And on the way to the demonstration, she called the teacher who encouraged her to come and say, were you there? Coming to meet you. And the person told them, well, no, I'm at home and I have some work to do here and bap. So the person's like, wait, you're one who got laid off, you're there, you told me to come, but you're home doing work. I had work home too. And that person turned back. They tell me what I turned back. So, let me be careful, but we need to come out, but the persons keep saying what you're doing, and that is one of the things I particularly don't like. You keep what Friday doing, what Lika doing, what are we doing? What are we going to do?
But Francois, I remember hearing Bigger Bigs on the program calling for the teachers them to do something. He himself mentioned at the reparation conference at Victor Park, he was there protesting with his placard with the wrong that done against him. And I heard him appealing to the people them to come and do something. So, but in everything, everybody's NDP, yes, NDP.
And in any organization with thousands of persons, everybody will have their own view as to how do we proceed, how do we do this. But as Major said, there's one leader and there's leadership. So sometimes you may not agree with the part, but you have to put the trust in it. And because you who have an idea, for example, if you think we must go demonstrate for something and the party do whatever research and so forth and they decide maybe it's not the best, sometimes you just have to go along with it. I don't think they publicly criticizing it or saying they should do this. Everybody have their own view. That's what I'm saying, eh?
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah, and Francois, because from my thing there, okay, now we got to look at things carefully. Now, I like the way how the party is going about doing it work in a sense, because it's not everything that that is happening, but in a country you must come on radio and talk, Because here what happened, Francois, a lot of the things that Major and other members of the NDP been speaking about for years. We noticed that the ULP government now taking them one by one and trying to implement them. Mm-hmm. Right? But so that and I'm one of the persons that when people call, we're not hearing what NDP say they're gonna do. I just always say that is a trap, because they don't have an idea. They set up people to call to say and then NDP will go and they say what they have in mind, and they listen to them and they try to take out PC and PC.
But I think the issue here is that persons may not, like myself, or the program, and in that case may not fully understand where Major's coming from. But I get the gist of the program was that they basically was saying NDP not doing enough, and we should have demonstrated by the SILAC meeting. But other organizations could have demonstrated too, and other persons could have organized. I remember when myself and Junior Bacchus, we organized that demonstration against Vinlek, walk around town, and every time we pass a group, somebody will say, I'm supporting y'all, but I can't come out. And
Francis, I learned a lesson from that,
Yeah, you were there with us.
Yeah, and I remember when when we get strong, I go to you and Junior and say, "All they put your call yourself, look all the people on the sidewalk." Yeah, because, and this is the problem. But then, apart from the picketing at sea, like they made some points which I agree that they are sorting out other areas that wherein they claim that a number of people listen to other media houses in the Caribbean and what and not, and they are questioning. They say they're not saying that they're not, but they're not hearing. They want to know if they're sending information to these outlets, right? And the only thing that I see that I figured that I didn't agree with them is when they mentioned that NDP didn't go and do the picketing at the CELAC meeting. I think that, but the other areas they're talking about promotion and advertising, when they do the programs, when the program here, instead of record it and share it with other media houses in the Caribbean, this is what they were saying. They're not seeing them and the media houses, and that part of it, I agree with them. But the part where the picketing with the CELAC, whether the NDP should have gone or not, that's a decision I think was for the party, right? And that's it. And because it's not
okay.
Only
thanks.
But
Okay.
there are people in the country who have been affected personally, and they can stand up for themselves, you know. And then the whole thing is like this. Is like this, France. They say, "Oh, God, go help you." But put on a sit down and wait for God to come and help you.
Because I myself had some discussion with persons on the same SILAC, and this is what were you going to demonstrate about? I catch the part, maybe you're doing it for international media to take with it, but personally, most of the leaders, especially Central American leaders who came to see that meeting, they are dictators. They don't care if people is able to suffering, to be honest. That was my view. Because people in Venezuela are suffering. They think, anyhow.
Well, what I'm saying is that, that in the whole conversation, the only thing that I don't agree with them totally is when they say NDP should have gone and demonstrate at the CELAC. But the other areas that they spoke about.
But as I say, we didn't hear, so I don't want us.
But the other part of it is what it was not really criticizing the party, but questioning the using all the outlets that are available for.
Okay. All right. Great. I want to move on, though, right?
Yeah, we look at it.
All right. Thanks. All right. We not. I don't think we'll get back in Major, but I want to move on, and I want to go back to what I said in terms of Saturday. Saturday was a wonderful, great, whatever adjective you want to use, launching of Brother Andrew John. It was tremendous. It came over well. All the presentations were on par. It was excellent. That's me saying so. I've been there. It was excellent. I'm not saying that because it was NDP. It was excellent. So I am taking that from Saturday. That is the part of Saturday I want to take. The excellent meeting in the night, and the fact that we have a candidate that persons are saying yes, can move forward, and we have people like Noel and the other Andrew Simmons and everybody behind him working as a team. So there are a lot of positive things coming out of that meeting, a lot of positive encouragement, and sometimes it's important. And I'm going to use an example that, maybe some can relate to and some may not. I went to the Christian trials Saturday and Sunday, and some very good performance. And I particularly, I guess I could call his name, Andrew Bramble was on the mic. And a lot of times when the athletes are struggling, and you could see it in their demeanor, struggling to reach, and he would say, hey, let us encourage them, let us encourage them. And sometimes you see that extra lift. So when you're down and you're struggling, sometimes what you really need is encouragement and not criticism. You need that extra push to say, hey, things may not be 100%, but you can make it and we can make it if we try. Let us all come together and make that extra encouragement. Sometimes, I seen it from a personal, but I have talked to other hosts. Sometimes you need that encouragement, when you come here and you talk. You don't always want to say, oh, we both of them doing on the radio, they didn't talk, but this didn't. Sometimes it's not easy. So I'm going to go positive, and I'm going to give you the launching of Mr. Andrew John. I think we have enough time to squeeze it in before 12, and I know Dr. Friday will be joining us also. So let me try and get that in. All right, so we'll move on. Let me see if I get everything up. Something not
to the sky, and a teardrop fall from me high. Me say, man, you come and go out for a drive. Let me show you why me cry. Look on the gully side. Anything to smile about. Look at that hungry child.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremonies. Protocol having already been established. A very warm and pleasant good night to each and every one of you present. I have the privilege and the distinct honor of presenting to you Mr. Andrew Darius John. Mr. Andrew Darius John is originally a native of Evesham in the Mariquah Valley, and I brought him to South Windward. To live in Argyle a little over 30 years ago. Not going back, not at all. He taught for many years in various primary schools, and I met him during one of our school events. He was an outstanding teacher and principal. We have 3 children from our marriage of 29 years. Andrew is a warm, kind-hearted husband and a determined, dedicated family man and community man. He is a workaholic and believes in getting things done. He will do wonders for South Windward. Andrew John holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Management Studies and recently worked as the Industrial Relations Officer of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Darius John.
No people come to Jamaica and not know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get few understand the real thing. Yeah, they are town one day.
John being introduced by his lovely wife. Just one for those of you who may not have.
And him turn to me and say, how comes Jamaica full of so much goofy?
We're ready, yeah, we're ready, ready, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, ready. Look how the sun now raising up, and the crowd now waking up. The atmosphere have vibes, and nothing can break it up. The girl them a wine non-stop, we had the drinks them in a my cup. We We gonna party all night, all night. 24 parties we hit in a row. Tonight at the very last show. Before we are out on the road, the girl them a release the road. So let me see your hands up, so everybody know, put your hands up, so if you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. We're ready for the road.
We're ready for the road. We're ready. President of the New Democratic Party, Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday, other members of the head table, greetings to you. Special greetings to you. Every single one of you. South Windward, Passy, good night, South Windward. And of course, to our visitors. Let me just take a moment to thank the wife. She done give out all my secrets. But thank her very much for that lovely presentation. And special greetings to our women. Belated greetings for International Women's Day yesterday. Women are indeed special to us. And we give praises for them. I am here tonight to let you know that change is coming to this land. Change is coming to South Windward. And Andrew John is going to make sure that it happens here. They told you I am a teacher. I was a teacher. I was a principal. And they told you I give some licks and so on, and I'm supposed to be giving some more licks. But before I give the licks, I also did a lot of assessment during my work. And I have assessed this present government that we have and have given them a resounding failing grade for their performance over these years. Failing grade. I gave a failing grade to the representation that we have been getting here in South Windward. Fail. And they have to respect that F. They have left us, the people, behind. They have left us in South Windward behind. And they have taken us for granted. And thinking that at election time, they will come and dance with us and hug us. They will come and bring all kind of galvanizer nonsense and telling us they are buying our vote. But it's not your vote they're buying, you know. They are buying your children's future. Our young people, it pierces my heart to see them on the streets, unemployed, intelligent boys and girls who we have taught, who come out of school who we have paid, you have put so much effort, so much money into, and then at the end of the day, they can't get meaningful employment. They can't get meaningful training. It is only for the chosen few. It is time for us to realize that our children here in South Windward are suffering. Our young people are suffering. And we are going to stop it. It has to stop. You see this election? Andrew John is going to make sure it stops.
Yeah, can't even trust your neighbor.
You think? You think I get involved and come here for joke? When I come here, it is saying to you that I mean business, and I need us to work together to ensure that we change what is happening in our country right now. I have a list of things, and I have a list of things written down that shows that we have been neglected. If you visit some of our roads in our constituency, it is deplorable. They are deplorable. I tried going through a place called Chile. I hear somebody sung like a village pause today. Yes, you walk through Chile. Simon breaking away, the road breaking away in Simon. I went to Diamond, it's dirty walking on. That is what we have been working 23 years to produce. Since the wife brought me to Southwind, what is one of the most beautiful places that I have been. We have so much potential here in Southwind. We have the international airport in the mix. What are we getting as a spin-off from it? Look at Bible. Bible should be a tongue. They should be walking here, building Bible, so that we could be making money. What are they doing? They are borrowing the money from us. We're not making anything. And then what they do, they are chasing you from the roadside where you're making a little honest dollar. I spoke with a gentleman who runs a little corner side vendor. And the man had tears in his eyes explaining to me that they broke down his thing. And he tried to build it back. They come and they give him 7 days notice to remove it. That is what we are getting. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, they put up a poster right where the stall, one of the places were. They break down the business, mash up the business, and put up a poster there for us to look at. So maybe when we look at that, we could get food to send our children to school. It is ridiculous what is happening, and we must put a stop to it. Now, we have to put some plans in place for our children, for our young people, for us. Because right now, if we continue down this road, it is misery we are going to reap, and we can't afford that. So let us get together and start putting plans in place to build the skills of our young people. Let us start teaching them skills to live by.
So let's see on the first,
We have our young men and women at home after school, after leaving school at home, unemployed, when there are no plumbers, there are no electricians. I have a friend who I was speaking to recently. He's working on the airport, not the airport, one of the hotels that they're building. And the man told me the people who are working with him, he can't understand what they're saying. They're talking some kind of language. These are the people they're bringing to work, and we are right here not being able to earn a living. People, we have to make serious choices. Well, there's one choice. Come next election. Come next election. As somebody said, they better call it tomorrow. Come next election, we are going to put them out. We are going to vote them out of office.
Okay.
We are going to fire them. Let us fire them.
So let's see on the first, Let's get it together. Okay.
Yeah.
Rise up, my people. This is no time to invest in a war. Rise up, my people.
We have to be struggling. We have to be struggling day by day to provide healthy food. We have to be struggling to send our kids to school. Whenever there is an issue of health, we don't even know where to go. They fly out, they gone about the business. As soon as they head hot them, they're gone. And we have to be here without proper medical care. Too many of our friends are dying. Too many of us are sick. We need to be in a position to eat healthy. And so we have to train ourselves, train our children, get into producing our own food. We have to ensure that we get back into agriculture. And when I look at the plans of the NDP, they are telling you we are going to build, and we are going to build on agriculture. Just recently, a plan was launched for athletics. Southwind used to produce national and international cricketers. Some of the best cricketers came right here from Bayabu. Some of the most outstanding footballers come out of stops. And here we are now. We have not seen a professional athlete under this administration coming from anywhere in any of our areas. We need to get that athletics, that sports plan into action, and make sure our children benefit from it. Now, I told you earlier, I am an assessor. I have assessed the plans of Dr. Friday and the NDP. I have assessed your plans. And these are solid plans for building St. Vincent and the Grenadines through its people. People, we need this plan. We need to be able to provide. We need to be able to live a better life than we are living. We have to be able to do that. Now, a learning from the politicians, they say, hear me talking is what I pick up from them when, when they were up here. So, I am not going to be long because the work is here to be done. So what I am going to advise you, I am going to advise that you ensure that you are registered to vote. It doesn't make any sense to go and say one change, and when election day, you cannot vote. Make sure that you get registered. You find out where they are doing the registration process. You go there and get registered. The next thing you have to do is make sure you spread the message. And the message is not hard. We are seeing, we are not blind, we are seeing what is happening to our people. We have to change the direction in which this country is going. So, make sure that you tell the people, whether labor, we're embracing everybody. Everybody can come on this train. This is a winning train. You hear the guys talk about that. When we start to roll, we are rolling. And I am not going to be left behind here. I know you're not going to leave me behind. I know you're not going to leave me behind. We are moving with the train. So believe me, when I tell you, I am going to ensure that South Windward come home. I am giving that solemn promise to you. I am speaking because we are going to put the work in and we are going to ensure that South Windward come home. We are bringing South Windward home. No longer are we going to be putting people who running up and down hiding from us and say they're representing us. We're not giving them anymore. We thank them for the time. It is time for them to go. So I thank you all very much for being here. I thank you for the love that you have shown, the support that you have shown, and I know we are going to move together. We are going to move together to get this thing done. So South Windward, we are going to be in government under the NDP come next election. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much, and have a very good night.
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road.
This blessed country has seen its best days. Just look at it now, it's torn to pieces. How did we get to this point? Ain't no mystery. We wasted a lot of years simply mashing up the country. Now can we put the pieces together that will redeem this land? I say yes, we can, my brother, but not until we understand we got a country to build.
So that was Brother Andrew John at the launching on Saturday.
To salvage what's left of our nation, so we ain't got no time to chill. We got a country to build.
Yes, trying to get the microphone up and working at this time. It's 10 minutes to the 12 o'clock hour. Remember, we will be having Dr. Friday in with us. just about the usual time after the 12 o'clock break. Let me take this call quickly because I also want to make some points. Good. Hello. Person seemed to have left us. Yeah, that person seemed to have left us. Okay, just trying to work with my. Let me see. We have somebody else. Let me see. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bert. I just want to quickly add my congratulatory voice to Mr. Andrew John. I'm not sure if I know him, but let me just say what I admired about him is his brief, well, what I would call a brief presentation in terms of his launching. He did not embellish his speech with any grandiose plans and all of that. I think he was quite humble and simple to the point to what he had to say. That the ordinary, literate, easy literate person could have understood what he said. And I know some of us would have been disappointed, maybe wanting to hear a more highly generated kind of political speech, especially on his launching. And I just hope that the people of his constituency, South Windward, would have gotten the message loud and clear.
There'll be many other opportunities also, Dave, to make, to go into details and so forth,
sure,
right?
I
So,
understand that.
okay.
But I just wanted to lend my support and to make our intentions know that we all are in this battle, war, whatever, as one unit. And if we want to see the end of this ULP era, we all have to work together. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much. Seem to be getting a shot here. Let me see. Okay, right. Yeah, I want to thank you. So, yes, many opportunities still to come in terms of presentations, in terms of getting the message out, in terms of the plans and programs. Okay. Good morning, Newtimes. Good morning, Newtimes.
Good day, Bart. How are you?
I'm blessed.
I called to beg up Mr. John and you. Come on, Bart. He did a very good job. He sung like a seasoned politician. I was pleased at his delivery. And plus, he have a fire and wife behind him there. Oh, they make my night. I enjoy that program so much on Saturday night. I just want to wish you all the best. Go with God and continue to fight. I will love him very much. But that was a wonderful speech he did with that first song he made. And we know he's going to get better, eh? So keep up the good work, Andrew. We love you.
Thank you very much.
Come on, boy. Get busy now. Get active, yeah.
All right, thanks. Yes, I'm sure you heard him. Oh, let me take the opportunity. Let me say good morning to Bobina Thompson. I know she won't forgive me. So make sure you big me up and call me up on Monday. So, Bobina Thompson, pleasant good day to you. Trust that you have had a lovely weekend. All right, 5 minutes to the 12 o'clock hour. 5 minutes to 12 o'clock hour. I just want to briefly say, that a lot of the issues that persons raise in other areas, the party is fully aware of, a lot of these things and discussion and decisions in terms of the way forward and so forth. But there are different discussions that being held and different things, and sometimes, as the major say, conclusions come to. So it's not that the party not aware or the party not open to other views, but at the end of the day, decision have to be made by the leadership on the way forward. And as the major say, and I want us to support that, we have to trust them in terms of the reason for or against any particular action or way forward. All we have to do is that we have to make sure that we all are working hard towards the goal, which is to get rid of this ULP organization. So we all have to work together to move forward. We all have to do that. Good morning, Newtimes.
Good morning to you, Bert.
Good morning.
Good. I was just saying that I don't think it's a good idea for members of the party or supporters of the party to be openly criticizing the party like that. I think there's a time and place for everything, and I don't think we should get on the air and tear the party and try to be tearing up the party. I don't think it's a good idea. And the other members, the other party will be quite happy to hear this sort of discord going on in the party. I would think so. And I think you have to, if even you're doing it, it's how it is done. You don't say it in a way like if you're looking for confrontation. If you think there's something to be said, you could say it without making certain disparaging remarks, So it's really about how it was being said. I heard it on Saturday, and I don't think it's a good idea. And I remember that Igel had a protest at one time. There was after the volcano. He was demonstrating against the way things were being distributed. Gifts to the country was being distributed. And Igel got up 20 or 25 men, and he went down in front of Nemo for a whole morning.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. We protested in front of Nemo for an entire morning. So I don't see why people in the party can't, especially if you claim you're popular, get up your people. You can get up 10, 20, 40, 30 people, whatever, and you can go and make your protest too. We don't always have to wait on the party because we are they have ways and means, and they're capable of that transportation or whatever that they need to get people out. A lot of them use the internet all the time. Well, there's an occasion, use the internet, call your people and go and do a protest. I don't think we have to wait on NDP all the time to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
That is my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Well, Dr. Friday is supposed to join us, so I'm gonna try and see if I could get him in at this time, and then we take the break after. I'm not. So let's see if he will join us at this time.
It's a commitment we all must fulfill. Let's build it for the next generation, so that they will not inherit a shattered nation. So bring all your tools, your ideas, and a strong will. Cause we got this country to build. Tell you. First, we got to build a strong foundation. That means we got to upgrade we education. Cause we are certainly not ready to face the future. As we all done see, everything now is computer. So preparing ourselves for the next millennium is what we should do. Just take a good look at this country and tell me if it's not true that we got a country to build. And if we don't do it,
I think we have Dr. Friday with us. Now let me make sure everything here is good to go. All right, much better. Let me see. So we do seconds. Okay, so good afternoon. By my watch, Dr. Friday. Good afternoon.
My 1 minute boat. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you and to the listeners far and near. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here today. And I've been listening to the presentations thus far that you've been doing. But there is so much that, for us to report on that we've been doing and that the country has been experiencing, some of it good, but a lot of it, of course, we know still to be corrected and to be fixed when we get in government. And that is something that we are working diligently to do. Let me say good afternoon to everybody who is listening here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. Those of you who are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those of you in our diaspora, thank you so much. We know that you could be doing other things, but you've chosen to be with us, and I'm grateful for that. But you will detect by now that my voice is a little gravelly. And that is, of course, we had that fantastic meeting in Bayabo on Saturday evening, where we launched our officially in the community launched our candidate, Mr. Andrew John, who is, he's been on the ground, he's been living in the constituency, so he knows the place. So this is no real introduction, but this is just saying, listen, we have a candidate in South Windward. This is the person that the people have chosen. They have told me this is the guy who will win the seat, bring South Windward back to the New Democratic Party fold. And from everything I've seen and heard regarding him, what I've seen from him, he is a hard worker. Sure. He is a man of the people. He's somebody who gets along with people, can touch base with people very easily, that people know him in so many different ways as a primary school teacher and then as a principal all across the constituency. And he's committed to doing this service for the people because he's done so all his life. As a teacher, you can't be more of a servant of people than being a teacher, to be honest with you. It is a very, very highly regarded profession, more of a calling than as a job, because you have to be so committed to helping people and your awesome responsibility that you carry, that you have to basically shape, that you're there shaping young lives and hoping to make productive citizens and good people, not just for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for the world. That has been Andrew, that has been his life, that has been his work. He's continued to do so. He's done so in other activities in his constituency, as you heard on Saturday night, but that he was, he's involved in sports, he's involved in community groups. He is his not just him, his wife Cheryl as well. They are not fly-by-nighters. They are not people who are just coming in to say, all right, let me just see if I could do this because Noel isn't running again. These are people who he has considered it and he's decided this is another level on which he wants to provide service to the people of his constituents and the people of the country. And I welcome him, and I welcome his enthusiasm. I welcome his commitment, because he is giving his full time to this pursuit for bringing the message of the New Democratic Party to the constituency, to all the villages in that constituency, to let them understand what we're about and what he as a candidate is about. As you know, we've started already the walkabouts. We were in Victoria Village not so long ago, and we will continue to go out into every nook and cranny of this constituency. And he will help also the other candidates in being a part of the team, because as you heard him say on Saturday night, he's a team player, and others have said so. He's a team player. After teaching, he was in the industrial relations officer for the teachers union. We know that. And he constantly on the radio, in their radio program, putting the message forward on behalf of his membership there. And now he will do that in a more direct way and full-time way as a candidate for the New Democratic Party in the constituency of South Windward, working to bring the message of the party. Because I know, but When people understand what the New Democratic Party is about, when they hear, they cut through all the noise and the propaganda and the misrepresentations and the lies that are told about us. When you cut through all of that and you hear what we are saying, people like the message. They know that what we are saying is in their best interest, that our program far outshines that of whatever you can discern from the ULP as to their program. In fact, what they're doing now, they seem to be just following us around and picking up things and relabeling them and calling them somewhere else and saying that they're doing these things when, in fact, these are NDP policies that we have been putting forward for quite some time. And I gave the clearest example of that in my presentation on Saturday night up at Bible, that the government, basically the ULP, in their presentation at the budget in January the 8th of this year, where they have adopted our proposal to reduce the interest rate for student loans to 4.5%. When that was announced, they said at the time, and that day, Ralph said at the time that it was opportunism on the part of the NDP, that it was not sustainable, basically that it was something that we were just doing as an election gimmick. Now they have embraced it without even suggesting in any way that this is something that they pick up from there and they see and they say, well, all right, this is a good policy. But all of a sudden they change their mind. They don't even acknowledge that they were of a different view before. Or at least to say, well, listen, this is a good policy, and we could have done it before. And the truth is, they could have done it before because we put it forward 3 years ago in the campaign. This is when it was there. Just imagine if NDP had won the government, in the sense that we had formed government. I shouldn't say won, we had formed the government at that time and introduced it, how much those students would have benefited by now. They would have saved thousands of dollars. So even though they say they're going to introduce it, they ain't introduced it yet. They still have lost that time when they should have introduced it earlier, and students could have benefited a lot from it. But I want to explain this a little bit more, because sometimes, again, we need to cut through the noise and the clutter. Since they will be speaking from the same song sheet and this now, they can't misrepresent it anymore, because they have now said that they will introduce the 4.5% interest rate for student loans. They didn't even try to disguise it and say 4.25% or 4 or 5. Exactly the same amount that we said. That's what they said they're going to do. But of course, let me explain a little further. What we said that we would do, 4.5% would be the highest it will be. But if we, in the operation of the program through the National Development Bank, we are able to make savings, we are efficient, that people are paying back their loans on time because they're getting jobs that enable them to pay the loans back, and they'll be more affordable for them to pay back because, of course, the interest rates would be lower. So therefore, the carrying costs will be lower. Gives them a better opportunity, giving them a better opportunity to be able to pay back these loans. So if they are able to do so, and we can get greater efficiencies that enable us to operate the program, and we can reduce the interest rates even further to 4.25%, to 4%, then we will do so, because the whole point of the program is not to make money for government. We are not a commercial bank trying to make money for its shareholders. The whole point of it is to enable our young people, our people, to be able to obtain higher education, because we don't have gold, we don't have diamonds, we don't have iron ore, we don't have any of those things in the ground, we don't have oil like some of our neighbors. We don't have those things. What we have is the intellect of our people. We have the hardworking commitment of our people. We have the brains and intelligence of our people. And so it would be totally foolish of us not to want to develop that to its maximum capacity, because that's our best resource. So we are going to make it affordable for more and more people to be able to obtain higher education, and more diverse higher education. We can't all be lawyers and doctors. We need engineers. We need people who are doing things in the technical and vocational fields, who can fix the more complicated vehicles you're having now. I mean, you have mechanics now, they know how to fix your engine, but you ask them to fix the electricals and they're having trouble. But you know that because we don't have the proper training and the tools and so forth to do that. We need to do all of these things that enable our people to be able to take advantage of the brave new world that is unfolding every day before us. So our plan is to enable young people to be able to have access to higher education. And that means from community college all the way up, that they will be able to get these loans at a lower interest rate, 4.5% maximum, so that they will be able to afford to develop themselves. And when they do so, they increase their earning potential, but they're also a lot more useful to us as a country because they have more to offer. They have learned a lot more. They have more that they can, more skills and more of their training that they could bring to bear on the problems that we have here. That is what we said that we will do. And that is why we took the bold step 3 years ago and announced in our campaign that we will reduce interest rates to 4.5%. The government has belatedly taken it on, but we say, better late than never, because some of our people will be able to benefit from now. I wanted to explain another component of that we will add there. And I want all the teachers, the people who went to school already and they're working so on and they're catching the tail to carry the loans now because there's 8 and 9% interest. You can refinance your current loan as well. If you have a loan that you borrowed to go to school, and I know some young people who did that, they mortgage their family homes and so forth to be able to afford to go and develop themselves, and their families naturally seeing their potential want to help them. So they take that decision together as a family to take out the loan and to have the security to back it and so forth. But it's onerous at 8.5% and 9% interest. That's onerous. So we're saying if you want to refinance, and you would want to, then you can do so. Take that loan that you have now and come into the institution, the National Commercial Bank, that you will use to finance these loans, and you can refinance at the 4.5% interest. That is going to help everybody. Free them out from under their debt. I mean, look at in the United States, a rich country like the US. The President Biden is saying he's forgiving student loan.
Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. Because they recognize that to invest in young people, that is the most important thing you could do. And there's a rich country with resources galore, and lots of well-trained people. Institutions like Harvard and Caltech and MIT and all of those, are unparalleled in anywhere in the world. And we here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have the community college, we have the University of West Indies, and we have people who go and study elsewhere further afield. We have to enable our people to take advantage of them. And that is what this program is all about. It's not rocket science. This is just putting your heart out. As I say earlier, put your money, where the pain is. And a lot of our students are feeling that pain, our young people, paying back these loans. So we're going to make it easier for them. They can then use that money to start their lives, getting property, starting a family, getting yourself established and so forth. And that is what creates a good life here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So when we say to young people that these are the things we will do, we want them to understand that they are feasible, even though that the government side, they had, tried to rubbish the idea before, they eventually adopt them and they see and they start trying to move in our direction because they know that they make sense. And they also see that they appeal to young people. So I give that promise at Bayabo again, that we will honor that pledge to make sure that our young people have an opportunity for a job. That is a Youth Guarantee Pledge that we gave last year, that we continue to assert that they have an opportunity to have a job by the end of the first term of the NDP government. We're going to expand the economy so people will have more opportunities for good jobs. But if you don't, because you don't have the skills, you come out of community college, or even if you come back from university, and you find that you don't have the skills necessary, we're going to ramp up in a massive way our technical and vocational education programs so that people can then go back and learn a particular skill. If you have a university degree, there's nothing to say that you can't go and learn a skill that enables you to be able to fit into particular jobs you have here, using all of your intellect now, not just you could read and write, you could do things properly, you can be analytical and so forth. There's nothing wrong with having done CAPE and your subjects and so forth, saying, okay, I'll go back to the technical and vocational institution, which will be on par with the community college to obtain a skill. That happens all over the world. I know in Toronto, for example, you have people go to university and they go back to the colleges like Sheridan College or various other to do particular skills. Conestoga College in Waterloo area, and so forth. That's part of the continuing learning experience that we have to adopt and get ourselves adapted to. I hear that see something on one of the social media platforms that in Singapore they're talking about giving bursaries and scholarships, financial assistance to persons over 40 so they could go back to school and train. Because they know that what you learned 20 years ago in university has changed so much now. They want to be able to get their people to adapt and to be more adept at dealing with the current technologies and so forth. We have such a low expectation of our people sometimes. We think that somehow that, because we've been at the back of the line for so long, that's where our place is. But that's not the case. We can do much better than we're doing now. We have to lift our sights, and then we have to demand more of government and say, let's put the programs in place and we'll take advantage of them, and we will lift St. Vincent and the Grenadines out of the poverty that we are in now. We will make it a place where people want to stay and work, and our young people can feel that they can realize their potential here. And if they choose to go somewhere else, well, that is their choice. But the point is, if they want to stay and live and work here, they should have that option as well. And that is what we want, the kind of country we want to create. And I think the young people are sensing it in us, and they say, Friday really mean this thing because he's talking about it all the time, and I've asked them to join me, help me to change the government so we could transform St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because again, but as I said repeatedly and repeated it at Bible, if the young people and when the young people decide that they're going to take part in this election, that they're going to vote for change, that they will support me and the Youth Democratic Party and say, let us bring about a change in this country, nobody can stop us. Nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop us. They will be an unstoppable force for change in this country. And I want them to realize the power that they have. And I will enable them when we are in government to become independent as well. And so that we can build a St. Vincent and the Grenadines that lives up to its true democratic aspirations. That is to say, people who are free and fear no one when they want to speak their minds about the way their country is going, because they have that economic independence as well. So all of this is to say that we have plans that far exceeds those that the ULP has. We have plans that will benefit the young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we are going to pursue them. All we need to do is to stay the course towards changing the government and to ramp it up now that we are heading into election years, this year or next year, whenever it comes, that we are ready to bring about that change. And the young people are the ones who will make a difference. And I urge them to follow, to continue to push in that direction, to join us in that cause. It's a righteous cause on behalf of the future of our country. And this is no time for us to sort of stay on the sideline and say politics is for, Friday and them and for all and people who want to go and do that. That's their business. Politics affects us, everybody. When you have bad government, everybody suffers. You have good government, everybody benefits. Yes. So that is where that's where the rubber meets the road. And so everybody has a role to play, and I urge them to do so. And but I think they're listening, because when I talk to young people now, they're excited. They want to get things done. I said, guys, I'm really depending on you. And it's a Friday here. We have your back. We're going to do this. We're going to get this done. I said, all right, I'm counting on you. And when the time comes, let us just move en masse, not just creeping over the line. Let us do a real transformation in the politics of the country. Change the government big. Move them out. And then let us give us a clear mandate to govern. And then let us together make St. Vincent and the Grenadines realize the promise that Chatteryear, whom we celebrate this week, the National Heroes Day. That promise that Cato, Milton Cato, and the others who brought us into independence had. They didn't dream of a country that today will have, increasing homicide rates every year. We seem to be breaking a record. They didn't dream of a country to say that you have rape and sexual violence that is rampant throughout the country. They didn't dream of a country where 41% of the young people are unemployed. They didn't dream of a country where people are being paid the lowest in the entire region. That's not what they had in mind when they said that we are going into independence in St. Vincent and Grenadines. They had much, much more ambitious aspirations for our country. And I believe that we can realize those. And we're not doing it now. So we have to do something different. We have to bring about that change to make the difference. And that is what I'm urging our people to do, but as we get closer and closer to making that choice.
Definitely, Dr. Friday. I just want to go back a bit to on Saturday night. I thought it was really very, very nice meeting, on point. A lot of the presentations. And it is important that we the connection, if I listen to Brother John, and the connection with the young people and the sports and the whole idea that, so much life can be so much better for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think that's as the team I wanted to take away, that the persons who are coming on board are realizing that, also saying that the same thing, that things can be better in St. Vincent.
Can be better. And but
Dr. Friday, you spoke about we being the worst and almost everything.
Well, this is the thing in the important indicators. Even in yacht crimes against yachties, we often, and we are always in the top 4, but very often we are number 1. That is not a place we want to be against yacht visitors. I was talking to a gentleman this morning. You have burglaries going on in the communities in Beckwith 3 over the last week, not this weekend, the weekend before. These are things that put us in a bad light, and we need to fix them. And the police need to be given the wherewithal in order to deal with these crimes, so that we can have safer communities. But you are a sportsman. I wouldn't say you are a sportsman. You take a keen interest going on. You heard our announcement about the National Athletes Program. And I know you have said to me, Dr. Friday, well, come and talk to me. I want to be a part of this. And I said, but this is just the announcement. This is a policy at the very highest level. We have said, listen, this is where we want to go as a country. And the same way we say we want to help farmers and so forth. But when we do that, we now have to go and talk to the people who are in those areas to get it right. So we want to find out from the people who are in athletics, the people who are in football, the people who are in cricket, in netball, in swimming, in sailing, in table tennis, and all the various sporting disciplines, to say, listen, guys, this is the program I have in mind. Tell me how we can make this work. Nobody has said that this is a bad idea. All the people are saying now is that they want to be a part of shaping how it comes. And I say that is absolutely what we want as well, because we don't want something that is not going to work. This is not a political gimmick. This is us delivering on the promises that we have made for young people. It's consistent with our approach. All that I've said earlier in this broadcast thus far is consistent with that. This announcement of the National Athletes Program is consistent with that. Of course, the matter that was happening with Shafiq Maloney and so forth, and the information that was put there, that brought the matter to the fore, and said, okay, then this is time. The people are listening now, so let us make this announcement so that we can say help is on the way, not just for her, but for all athletes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all sportsmen and women who meet the benchmarks that will be set, and who are emerging talent that we should develop. These are things that are necessary. But the standards now, all of those benchmarks, we can't do them by ourselves. We don't know what they are. We have some idea, but we have to talk to you guys who are experts in the fields of athletics and cricket and football and so forth, and saying, who are these people that we should elevate to the status of national athlete in the same way that we have a national scholar, for example, who automatically qualifies for the benefit of state resources in order to further their education. We are saying that somebody who has a designation, you say, they have met your benchmark, this person is a national athlete, then that person qualifies automatically for assistance in order to further their, to develop their skills and to train and so forth. What that will be, again, as I say, I don't want to go ahead of the various disciplines. We will have consultations, roundtable discussions with people who can inform us about these things, and to make sure that they function in a way that is makes it sustainable and makes it beneficial in the way that's intended for the people, the young people in our country. I think that's an exciting program as well, Bert, and I think that the young people will embrace it, because it's something that they can aim at. You know that now if you really train and you discipline yourself, that the state is going to recognize you and that you will have assistance going forward. You don't have to be drifting from pillar to post, begging here and so forth and so forth, making it sound as though you are you're a burden to people. And then, of course, there will be additional assistance that you would need to do various things, and private sector has always been there to help. Individuals has always been there to help. That will continue, but at the very least, the state is not going to say that you're on your own. You know, if you come and knock loudly enough, then we may give you something. No. When you meet the benchmark, you get the assistance.
Yeah,
and that's what we want to implement.
Yeah, that's great. And I know persons are looking forward to that. In fact, for a lot of the young people and the athletes, because that is something that, you know, I was listening, Dr. Friday, to a presentation at one time, and we always, one thing that jumped out at me is that when we recognizing sports people, there's a tendency to say to them, remember, you have to do book work also.
Mm-hmm.
But I hardly hear when you're recognizing persons for academic achievement that you say to them they also need to do sports or some other extracurricular activities. So I was glad when you know.
Well, the point that is where it is now, and we want to encourage our young people to study, and we will push that, of course, because part of the program is also ensuring that they are able to continue with their academic work, and that we encourage that. But then there's some people who may have passed that as well. You know, they're in their 20s, mid-20s or whatever, and they're sort of semi-professional in their developments in sport. They have gone through that process. Or there are persons who may not meet that the academic standard to go off to university or whatever. But the point is that they have God-given talent too, and that is worthwhile, worthy talent. That is something that should be nurtured and developed. You know, and we want to make sure that they're not left behind because they can't go to a college here, a university somewhere else, and so forth. That we as a country also recognize that is a God-given talent, a gift that they have as well, and that we will nurture it. And when they succeed, we all succeed, but nothing brings more praise and joy and recognition to our country than when our sports people succeed, and when our athletes do well, and when our musicians and performers, artists, and so on do well. They do more to promote St. Vincent and the Grenadines than me, who've been in politics for so long, in the trenches here for so long. And we have to recognize that they pay back more than pay back their worth, the investment, if you want to call it that we put in them by the recognition and the good name that they bring our country. We said earlier that our country is known too much for these negative things, you know. And I rounded off, I itemized some of them earlier in my remarks here. But this is something that will lift us. This is something that will make us feel good about ourselves, and give people something to aspire to make that realization of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be in keeping with that struggle that Chatterjee did so many years ago, gave his life for, and for Cato and all those persons who brought us into independence, that we have to realize that dream. This all sets a platform for helping us to do so both. And I'm excited about it. And I want the young people to be excited about it. And as I said at Bible, I'm not just put water in my mouth. I'm talking, and I say, hold me to it. This is something that you can hold me to, because it's not something that I'm going to back from, because I too know the value of sports. We have people in our party. Fitz Bramber tell you of an example of him. Without that, he would not have gone to university. Not everybody has the capacity like Fitz to go to university and study and become, a big shot economist, But I don't mean that they can't benefit as well from the state resources if they have a talent that they can develop, a sporting talent, and we will make that available to them. And Fitz will be there pushing for that, because he knows the value of it. And I certainly will be there pushing for it, because I too know the value of opportunity. Wherever it presents itself, we have to take advantage of it. Opportunity doesn't come with a big sign identifying it. You have to recognize it. You have to know its value, and then capitalize on it. Take it as far as you can. And that's what we want to give our young people.
Thank you very much. Let me say to the persons listening, Dr. Friday has a appointment, so he leaves us at about 1 o'clock. So
Yes.
while we're chatting, you can also call and interact with him as usual. So don't feel that you just listen alone. We need that interaction, and he enjoys that. So don't make me stop you.
Call in if
Yes,
you have something to say. Certainly, I'd be happy to listen to you. Because
right, so just want to
my
make
door
that
is always open.
Mm.
When people say they want to talk to me and so forth, I always make the opportunity available. Here at my office on the streets of Kingston, I meet people in village. I mean, this is how that's for me, I call it politics 101, listening and talking to people, because I'm a firm believer that if you want to represent people, you have to find out from them what they want you to represent them about. You can't go and make that assumption and looking down on people and saying, I know what you want before you tell them, you know?
Definitely. So as I said, 12:31, old time thing, 28 minutes to right now to 1 o'clock. We get all digital. So let me take this call. Somebody, good afternoon, Newtimes.
Yes, good afternoon. I just want to be in good company with the leader of the opposition, so to speak. I want to commend him for his work in recent times. He seems to be more liberated as a politician more than ever before. Based on my observation, I am not able to move around and to see him in action, but based on all what I'm hearing, I just want to say that I am happy that he's getting on with the job, and I can only wish him well, success. And it's not an easy road. And I know you must keep our people in touch and in tune. There are those of us who are following who are able to follow events locally, regionally, and internationally. Excuse me. Take, for instance, I mean, I don't want to really go there, but we can feel the effects of what is going on in Haiti today.
Yes.
We don't want our politics to reach to that level where Haiti is a country where the poor inhabitants are not able to function in a humane way. Or, where just like we have a problem here with criminals, and how that element, has infiltrated our society. We have to safeguard all of this. We have to make sure that we take care, or we can't delay or waste any time. If we see a problem developing, we have to deal with it straight on, head on, especially when it can lead to greater things. And I am concerned about what's going on in Haiti. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, but where, I mean, you have these thugs and everybody let loose, those with criminal intent and so on, people being freed from jail, the leader cannot get back into Haiti. I am just anxiously awaiting to see what will be the outcome. Yeah. And I hope those who are trying to find some solution to the problem can really succeed, because we are in the Caribbean. We are CARICOM people. We have a Caribbean identity, and if one is suffering from something, I guess it will affect all of us. But I just wanted to say that briefly and wish you well, Dr. Friday. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dave. I'm so glad to hear from you, because I know you had some issues recently health-wise, but I'm glad to hear your voice here, and we'll continue to to keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And I'm glad that you're still on the program, which is excellent. I'm always happy to hear from you.
Thank you very much. So, for those of you, the WhatsApp 7844983802. So let me just So you can reach us at 498-3802, 784-456-5967, and the Magic Jack 718-734-5615. That's 718-734-5615. All right, as we go on to the program, let me go back to, okay, we're here.
Yes, but
I thought you had a call, so I was just checking on that. All right. So we had the lunch as you mentioned again. People still speaking about that. Dr. Friday, how would do you and the NDP? Lots of activities taking place. Lots of programs. You putting out.
yes, of course. You know, we have. I mean, this. Our colleagues are very, very busy, as you well know. We have Easter coming up, and we are going to have the Sion Hill, Sion Hill Bay, where Fitz Bramble, East Kingstown, they have the usual Easter Monday celebration. That is going to be there. We have on Saturday the 16th up at North Windward. Siobhan John, Senator Siobhan John and her team having a fundraising dinner on the 16th. Yes. On the 23rd in Western George, Sister Kay Bacchus Batiste is having the medical the health fair, which is something that is has benefited a lot of people in constituents and people from outside. So it's Major is having his function in Block 2000. We have tremendous activities that are happening in Central Kingstown, East Kingstown, North Windward, and of course we have also the boat ride that Brother Bruce and his team in South Central Windward is having to Beckway on Easter Sunday. These are all activities that bring NDP into the lives of people. Activities that bring people together, and then the time you have an opportunity to have people together, you can talk to them and tell them a bit more about what we are doing, and reassure them that we are serious about winning the next election and changing government and changing the country for the better. And that sort of interaction is priceless, and that's one of the advantages of having those kinds of activities. So we look forward to all of them. Of course, maybe a little early to start plugging my own, but May Day Fair, as you well know, down in Beckway on the 1st of May. We are a team and start planning for that as well. And there will be a boat ride that will be going down at that time. So this is a party that is on the move, vibrant. But most importantly, about last Friday, I was down in Kingstown doing, was it Friday or Thursday? Doing a walkabout. Yes, and it's just this is what we do. This is what I do, and love doing most. Is going out and meeting people, because I find that when you do that, you dispel a lot of myths about yourself, about the NDP, and you get a chance to dispel all of the propaganda and the misrepresentations that the other people have put forward. Because when people meet, when they meet me, that's been my experience. They're happy to meet me. They want to hear a bit more about me personally and about what the party is about. And they usually are, if they had some questions or doubts before, they usually feel much better about having had that interaction. So it's something that I will continue to do. And this week, of course, we will be in a different community for doing that. But I want to just thank all those people who I met in Middle Street for taking the time to chat with me. And some of them, they want to hold it for the whole day. They had to talk because they have so much that they want to say. But of course, we could only do so much with the time that we have. And I'm so grateful for that. But I look forward to doing so more and more because this is how people get to know what the NDP is about. They get to see the human face of the party, but they hear also what our policy is, our policies are, and they get to meet me. Because I tell people as well, I want to be a prime minister. I want to be able to bring change to this country. I want you to be able to trust me, to put your confidence in me. And there's no better way of doing that than watching people, looking people in the eye and talking to them and finding out from them what they have on their minds, and for them to hear from me as well.
Okay, we have somebody else. Let me see. Good. Not getting it. Good afternoon, Newtimes.
Good afternoon, Brother Buck.
Good afternoon, Mr. Israel. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my president. How are you, president?
Good afternoon, sir. How are things down in Baga?
Well, we're waiting. We're waiting because we're getting anxious too. Our launching our candidate down in Central Leeward and not
Central Leeward, I'm sure. You all. My brother, just be confident that we will we'll make you happy. And we'll make people of Central Leeward happy, because we are coming. We're coming strong in Central Leeward.
Because we get real anxious from here when we hear about the launching of the president.
I understand. Yes, I understand entirely.
And you know,
you will soon, my brother. You will.
Well, here's the one. I ain't nothing but what countries I say, wait, the president don't give us and that soon our candidates will be launching. So I just remind me all the time, because of the good work the party is doing.
Thank you.
And I know we are going to bring this home to our people. And we give you assurance that every single intervention will be benefit. Doctor?
Yes, sir.
I want the person. I am representative for the NDP. I don't get my recognition from the president before, the first president, our first president. And he don't recognize me as one of the oldest member in the Central Leeward in Layu. And I hold that to my heart. The first thing I just tell anybody come to ask me for their vote, who put up vote. I just say, let me tell you something, you know. The day the help people get a job and I come try and fire them, you know. It's just the hell with me now, you know. Because every Vincent have a right to work and eat out the labor of our contribution that we make to the government.
Well, I agree with you 100%. So you don't have to fear.
I will make them to understand.
People don't have to fear that from us.
Every single partner of Vincent. And not so because you not support me, you ain't getting no work. No.
Absolutely. That is not going to happen under the Democratic Party government.
Election, all our yellow jobs we have to put aside. And make sure wear normal clothes when everybody going to work. We don't want nobody showing up the party color when you're going to work, especially on the road work. Only put your word, NDP, and how we do. No. Put away our uniform from the family and let everybody wear where they want to wear to go to work. And everybody should eat and drink out the labor that everybody prepare in this country. And that's one the issue I want to take forward to the party. As a whole member, I 89 years I paid that. I don't looking for nothing. What are you looking for? If my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren have plenty of them.
We're looking for the future.
Yeah? And I want to good for them. I don't cut politicians. I don't cut people. When I call, they call about talking about history.
You call and you are always,
I have to make people
you're always positive.
They were saying, talking about the airport, the NDP against the airport. I had to come in and make them to understand that the plan was drawn under the NDP to build that airport. And I get the support from the person who was in charge of the situation to get it in. So we have to when they come with their nonsense, and we know the truth, we have to lick them with the truth and bring them back to realize, well, we not getting no project because one person take care to one, and the other person will come in and carry it down. You don't matter where me this, and you're going to build over. No, you don't go through.
Mr. Ezod.
This is my plea to the NDP.
Well, thank you, my brother.
You because I want
in a sense, you're preaching to the converted because you and I are at one.
Food and some things to drink. I bed and lay down asleep. That's good for me. But I'm looking now for the people, the young people saying things from the grenades that he might kill them alone. Everybody is children. So that is my issue.
Okay, then.
All right. Thank you, brother.
And your work that you custom. Go in every country.
Thank you. I'll be down in your area not
hand to hand.
Very
That's
soon.
how we are going to do it. Right? Thank you.
Thanks. Dr. Fred, I just want
Centrally would soon. Again.
I comment with you because I think what happening that a lot of persons, because they over 20 years, they're accustomed to a certain way of governance and separation and segregation, that they're probably a little worried, that it will be the same old, and that the New Democratic Party is in fact different. I just use the word by the DNA from the present regime.
Well, but anybody who wants to do that, and there may be individuals who feel that that's the way to do it, that's the way we should do it. You have to get through me first. That is not going to happen under my administration. It is not the way that we should govern. It's not productive. It's not going to benefit the country. And just to make somebody feel good because they're getting back at somebody who they feel that they didn't treat them well and so forth, that is not going to be what guides our administration. What we're looking at here is how do we develop our country so that all of us can benefit. People who are in jobs now, what I'm concerned about is how you do your job, not how you get your job. We want to increase the economy, grow the economy so that everybody will be able to find meaningful work in this country who wants to work. We know it will take some time, but that is our obsession, if you know what I mean, is to create opportunities, business opportunities, job opportunities, good, better paying jobs than we have now for our people so that they can enjoy a better standard of living. Poverty is a hell of a thing, but when you see some people, the conditions in which they live in this country still, the homes in which they live, it is a shame in this day and age that people must live like that. And we need to abolish that. We need to have a safety net below which no Vincentian should be allowed to live. They call it here the indigent poor, the dirt poor, as my colleague Major like to call them. And what has happened under this present administration since 2008 is that the indigent poor, the poorest of the poor, the numbers have increased under the ULP. Between 2008 and 2018, their own poverty study says that the people who are categorized as the poorest of the poor, they have increased from 3% to 11% of the population. This is something that is we're moving in the wrong direction. Poverty overall has increased from 30% in 2004 to 36%. But the poorest of the poor, indigent poor, within that group has grown more as a proportion of the poor in the country. So that is something we need to fix. We have to correct that. We have to go in the direction of eliminating indigent poverty in this country completely. People should not be living at that level where what you're earning is not sufficient for you to meet your daily needs. Then there is a role there for the state to play in ensuring that people live with dignity. We're all human beings. And some people fall in hard times. Some people, especially in their retirement, they have difficulty. And some people have tragedies. But we have to look out for one another, at least in this regard, where we make sure that everybody has a standard of living that we can say that we as a community in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we don't tolerate people living in the kind of poverty that we see around here sometimes, in some places.
I knew the answer. I just wanted to make sure, persons understand that it's two different dispensation, and that we moving
Absolutely. And
forward.
people, you can say that. Take my word for it when I tell you. If they're, and I'm not saying that they may not be individuals. We know that human nature how it is.
Yes.
But you have to get through me first. I am not going to allow that to happen. When I'm aware of any such thing as happening, we will stamp it out. It will not be the order of the day, as we have in this present administration with their own the jobs philosophy and their victimization of high-profile people like Bigger Biggs and so forth to send a message to people that if you don't toe the line, this is how we deal with you. No. That kind of politics ends when we get rid of the ULP from office.
Look, we had International Women's Day over the
Last
weekend,
Friday,
if
yes.
I could put it there. A lot of activities. I know you spoke to that.
Well,
This is
but
the first opportunity after.
yes, and I want to commend the women's arm of the New Democratic Party and the president, Sister Ronya Malcolm. This is hard work, but it's a good initiative that they had the sponsored walk on Saturday morning up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm told, that and of those who were able to make it, I want to commend them for the initiative and the message that it sends, that this is something that is important, and we should look to finding ways in which we deal with the problems that affect women disproportionately in this country. And we know what some of those are. Sexual violence against women and girls. We know the problems with employment, the wage gap between men and women, all of these various problems, the domestic abuse, that we have to have facilities that enable people to get back on their independence and to be able to do so safely, and to deal with these social problems that we have, but also to celebrate, the talent and the initiative and the contribution that women continue to make indispensably throughout our country, in our homes, in our economy, and to expand those opportunities. That is what we have to do, because that makes the whole country better and stronger. And so all of these, that initiative is part of that, confirming that commitment for us to working in that, to bring those things about, to be able to have more opportunities and for our young women, for our women in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to create a fairer and juster society. That's what it is. It's really creating fairness. It's not doing anybody a favor. It's doing what is right and what is fair and what is just.
Okay, fair enough, as you said. So we look forward to, all these good things that will come, the change in government, and we have good people on board, good candidates throughout.
Fantastic candidates. As I said at Bayabu, what we are doing is we are assembling an unbeatable, the best team of persons to not just contest and win an election, but also to govern the country. And the governance of the country is something that we will have to transform as well. We have to give the public service back their authority to act without everything being politicized. That is something that we have lost here. You have the state institution here. Daniel Cummings talk about how the CWSA functioned under the time of Sir James, where they had the independence to function and to do their job. Nobody looking over the shoulder and saying, why are you cutting off this person and so forth. They said the reason you're cutting them off is because they have a bill that is, $3,000-$4,000. And because they have connections with one minister or another shouldn't mean that they don't have to pay their bill, because when they don't do that, the rest of society also have to pay. This fairness is fairness. The point is that we have to get back to saying to people, we have duties and responsibilities in the same way we have opportunities and privileges. And so we all have to live up to those. And public servants have a role to play. We have to give them back the confidence to know that you're trained, you have the expertise to do it and so forth. You can do it. You don't have to look over your shoulder to say, let me see if this is politically sanctioned, rather than simply doing a job as you know that you ought to. That is something that we need to bring back here, and public servants are looking forward to that. To be able, you take it easy to go to work every day, and you feel that you should be doing X, Y, and Z, and you can't do your work. True. You feel paralyzed, and people just lose hope, and you go there and you get your salary at the end of the day, but your life is also not being productive. So they find other things to do outside in the communities, in the church, and in the schools, and so forth. But we want them to be working productively in the public service, providing the services that are necessary to make our country efficient and productive, and that creates wealth for us all. Then you could fund the hospital better, and people can get medicine. People come in. Somebody came in to me last week. Basic medicine you can't get, pressure pills and so forth. Bandages. They're telling you bring your own bandage if you come to get treatment for a wound that you have been to the hospital for before. You carry your own bandages. I mean, what is this? The country has really we've let these things slide, and we begin to take things for granted that not for granted. We begin to accept a low standard of performance by the government and think this is normal. It's not normal. It's not something we should get used to. We should say this is not good enough. We need to do better. And I've given people many reasons to believe that the New Democratic Party under my leadership will provide better for this country, the young people in particular. But we have to bring the change about, and we need everybody to do it. Everybody must come about. Don't stand on the sideline and say this is somebody else to do. I say, oh, well, I fed up with Ralph, or the government hasn't delivered and so forth, but I'm a Labour person, I ain't going to vote. This is the time to vote against them. That's what government is. That is what politics is about. It's not religion. If they're not serving your interests, you vote them out of office, and give your support to me and the New Democratic Party, and judge us on our performance, not on the performance of somebody else. There's nothing that saddens me more when you hear, especially young people saying, we're not about it politics because our politician is the same. How you know what I will be like in government? You have not given me that opportunity to do so. And you can't judge me by somebody else's standard. And it's unfair, it's not right, but it's also, we lose the opportunity to do better if we think that everybody is going to do the same as, the miserable guys who are in office there now. That is something that we can't tolerate, but thank you.
Okay. Dr. Friday, I know you have to leave 1 o'clock. We just have a few minutes. I know tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's the inter-secondary school heats for athletics. And I know a lot of these youngsters will be out there looking forward to maybe a career in future in those areas. And what's your encouragement to them out? I mean, I know the policy, but what would you be saying to them if
well, we will make sure that they hear, because that's the problem, is that they don't always hear, because there's so many things competing for their attention and their time. But we'll make sure that they hear that this is the promise that we have for them. This is the future that we have for them. This is the opportunity that we have for them, and that they can hold us to that commitment, because it's something that's good for our country, and that I am not going to say something lightly without having the commitment to back it up once we're in office. But they have to help us to get there. A lot of these young people, they're looking forward for a brighter future in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Any country that fails its young people, any country that does not give opportunity to our young people to live here and to want to build St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that people don't have hope, young people, any country in which young people do not have hope for the future is a country that has failed. That is a country without a future itself. And so when I say that it's an existential crisis in this country, to have 41% of our young people unemployed, to have young people feeling that they have no place in this country and this economy, to have young people just looking for the first off-ramp to go somewhere else to get out of St. Vincent, then we know that we're in serious trouble. But we can turn that around, because this is a beautiful country. This is a wonderful space that God has given for us to take care of, to develop. And we have people here who want to be able to make a good life here, and who can do so with proper leadership, with us working together and sharing in the hard work, but also sharing in the fruits of our hard work. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that aspiration is not beyond us. It is not something that, that is pie in the sky. This is ordinary, normal human aspiration. St. Vincent and the Grenadines can be better, and our Vincentian people can make it better. That is my commitment. That is what I want to see happen. And in government, that is what we will facilitate. Government will facilitate so that people can transform their lives. Thank you, Bud, and God bless you. And for all those persons who listened to us here today, continue the conversation. This is a serious conversation because our country deserves our serious attention, especially now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Friday. And I know you have to run, so all the best. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, it's 1 minute after the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to take the break because we didn't take the break. We're going to take the break. Also, I think there are live streams, will terminate at this time. Also, we go to about 1:30, 1:45 today. All right, so we're going to take that break also. We'll be right back with you, and we'll take that.
This March 14, National Heroes Day, the Block 2000 All Montrose Community Group in the Hannah